Okay, well, hello. Great to be here. Just a quick show of hands, maybe. Who's anybody from Krakow? Yeah, it's a lot of people from Krakow. That's cool. Um, how many developers do we have here in this room? That's cool. iOS developers, Android developers, Windows Phone developers. Okay, I need something more challenging. BlackBerry developers. No. Web developers. Okay, a few still. Okay, that's cool. So, well, to the point. Um, I know it says Chris in the agenda, but there was a last-minute swap. So my name is Piotr. I'm a Technology Evangelist at Estimote. If you need to get in touch, this is my Twitter handle and my email, so feel free to ping me at any time if you have any questions, inquiries, whatsoever, or if you just want to say hi or, like virtual high five, that's appreciated as well. And I'm here today to talk to you about beacons, right? So this is the agenda. We'll cover like a quick introduction what beacons are. How many people here already know about beacons? How many people have used beacons? Wow, that's quite impressive. So yeah, so we'll just skim through this quickly for those who haven't heard about it. And then we'll have a short Beacon Tech crash course, including a short demo. And finally, I'm here to talk about what's next with like contextual computing and all the cool stuff that Estimote and Internet of Things has in the pipeline. So let's get to the point, right? Smartphones, amazing devices, right? We're all here because we love them, probably, right? We can do all sorts of cool stuff with them, right? Like you can go to the city you've never been before and like navigate all around it, check any like good restaurants nearby, order an Uber ride, like seamlessly, just pick me up at this location, no need to pay and all this stuff. So this is all cool. We can go for a run, right? And our smartphone will track our path like pretty precisely. So this is all cool. But then we like go home, take a shower, and set out to like the world's biggest furniture store, for example, because, well, I don't know, we need to buy a table or whatever. We enter the store, and, well, our smartphone's in the pocket, but what they give you at the entrance is, well, a map and a pencil. And this is 21st century. I don't know about you, but for me, this is like, well, something's wrong here, right? And similarly, you can go to a museum, and right now, like, you don't even need to like get the audio guide. You can like get your smartphone and like download an app to get an audio guide. But still, you go near a painting, and there is a number nearby which you need to type into the app, and only then you'll hear like what you actually want to hear, like any more details about this given exhibit. So, well, maybe our smartphones are not that smart when indoors. And this is a huge problem, right? A huge problem and a completely new problem, right? Completely new challenge, something we're like just starting to face. Well, no. People have been trying to solve this for years, and there's been like a couple of attempts. We have RFID, which actually gained some traction, mostly in like commercial and like business tracking inventory or anti-theft mechanisms and all the systems, but not so much for like consumer devices and consumer apps, right? Which is probably what most of us is actually writing and developing. We have Wi-Fi. Who here has heard of Apple's indoor location introduced in iOS 8? Okay, so this is like a Wi-Fi based solution, and the only problem with it is you need to get Apple technicians to come to your venue and calibrate it, and this takes like time, and of course they can't do this for everyone, so your venue actually needs to qualify. So you need to have like a specific amount of visits per month or something like that. Basically, you need to be a big player in order for Apple to actually do this for you. And there are some other companies that do this, but it usually involves like tens of thousands of dollars, some complex equipment, calibration, which, well, pretty often you need to like redo it every month or so to just to make it working. So not so convenient as well. NFC is actually pretty cool for some applications, right? payments being probably the most popular of them, but also like peer-to-peer transactions or something like that, like file transfers, for example, right? But the range is not that big, so again, we can do better. And finally, we have QR codes. And there are so many jokes, I don't even know which one to tell. So, well, we have way too much fractions in those existing solutions, right? When we talk about indoor proximity, indoor positioning. So we actually believe that beacons are the solution. And you know, they say a picture's worth a picture's worth 1,000 words. So I have like 1,000 pictures, basically a movie for you, which should be worth like what, a million words. So let me just play it for you.
Smart beacons present relevant information to your device based on the context of where you are. Now in Android and iOS 7, your device scans for any nearby beacons in the background as you move around. And when you want info about something you're near, it's ready to swipe on your notification screen. So if you take out your phone as you pass a new restaurant, you can see their lunch menus or menu reviews. Since your phone knows that you just arrived at the table with the red beacon, the menu will be ready when you pick up your phone. So if you're in a hurry, you can send your order straight to the kitchen. You can have beacons at home too. So if your context is the kitchen and you're near the fridge, your shopping list will be ready and waiting when you look at your phone. And then when you walk by the beacon in the dairy aisle, your phone can give you a reminder to make sure you don't forget to pick up milk. And because the range awareness for beacons is sensitive down to a few inches, it can tell what you're closest to or what product you pick up. So when you look at your phone, it'll already show product information or let you know if your size is in stock or let you see what other colors are available. And then you can order it right from your phone. And if you've been at the restaurant for a while, your phone will be ready if you want to order another drink or pay the check with the push of a button. Your phone is always with you. Smart beacons give it some context.
So yeah, this is basically it. A small wireless device, no plug required. You can stick it on the wall, you can stick it anywhere, and it gives you all the proximity information you need, right? This is basically what a beacon looks like in detail. Like you have the PCB with a CPU and a bunch of sensors, basically accelerometer and a thermometer. Bluetooth Smart, so this like low energy solution, which basically enables it to run around 4 years on battery life. And we have this sticky nanomaterial. Basically, well, you can just stick it anywhere, then just get it off the wall and stick it whenever you want. So moving it is like super easy as well. So actually, all beacons do is they broadcast an ID. Which your phone can pick up whenever you're nearby. And like based on which ID is that, you can do like whatever your app actually wants, right? This gives you the context. So like on this image, for example, well, ID 7, my application knows this is the front desk, so I can show you the to-do list for the day, for example, right? Because like you arrived at your desk or something like that. So technically, this ID is not really a single number. This is what it actually is. It consists of like 3 parts. This long identifier plus 2 shorter ones. And the really nice thing about it is they are pretty hierarchical in nature. So you can, for example, set this long identifier to be the same for all beacons in your company. The major value could be like the floor number, for example, in your venue, and then minor value will identify each particular beacon. And then you can like easily define a so-called beacon region, which will, for example, encompass a particular proximity UID and a major UID, and this gives you all the beacons on a particular floor, right? So that's pretty cool, and it enables you to easily manage and extract contextual information from whatever your beacon broadcasts. So people actually often ask if beacons broadcast any other information than ID, and can they actually broadcast some additional data? Well, the whole idea is this is like a Bluetooth Smart solution, very low energy, so there is actually not that much data that you can transfer. So instead, you get this ID, and well, you basically do whatever you want with it, right? If it's associated with a particular product, for example, you're nearby this product, or a painting, like in the example before, you can download some additional information from the cloud, or maybe you have it hard-coded on your device, things like that, right? So this is one thing you need to remember, like keep in mind, beacons only broadcast the ID. And there is two modes which you can use to scan for for beacons and actually tap into this contextual power. The first one's called ranging, and this is something you usually do, or your app does, in the foreground, and it provides you the information about all the beacons in vicinity and an estimated range, an estimated distance from the device to the beacon. And one more thing to keep in mind here is, well, Bluetooth waves are just regular radio waves, which are susceptible to like many external factors, like interference, absorption, like multi-wav propagation. Those radio waves reflect from walls and all that stuff. So this is something you need to keep in mind. This distance information is it's fairly accurate, but it has a tendency to flicker. So this is something you kind of need to keep in mind when you build your own beacon-powered application, right? And actually, this is something I would want to do right now. So we have a short demo. Imagine those of you who are from Kraków probably know. So we have this really cool place, like cafe in Kraków, which is by the riverside. It's like outdoors. You can go sit by the riverside. You have this awesome view on the Wawel Castle. The only problem is to order, you still need to go inside, go to the bar, stand in the line, wait for some time, order. Then they give you this small electronic device which you take with you, and it starts buzzing after some time when your meal is ready, and you need to go to pick it up, right? So beacons are all about reducing this whole friction. So yeah, imagine you could just arrive at your table outdoors, pull up your phone, order seamlessly from the application, and the application, because there are beacons set up at every table, would know that you're at this particular table, and your meal will be delivered directly to you. So this is something we'll try to build here. So I already have an example application. It just doesn't include any beacons integration, so we'll be adding all the beacon integration to an existing app. And let me just show you how it looks right now. So this is it. I have my menu, right? I can select some stuff. I can click done. I'm ready to order. My order is being processed, and bam, it will be delivered to table number 13. And maybe if there is hot outside, the application can also give you a little shout out. Hey, ask the waiter about our special selection of ice cream, right? So this is all mocked up for now. There is no beacons. Success. There is no beacons integration yet, so let's get started. So what I've already done is I included the Estimote SDK in my project. This is just a pod file. If you're an iOS developer, you probably heard of CocoaPods. If you haven't, try it out. It's awesome. So I already included Estimote SDK in my pod file. I did pod install, so I'm ready to go. And because I'm using Swift, I also had to do one more step. I have my Objective-C bridging header. Estimote SDK is an Objective-C library, so this is something we need to do in order to make it work with Swift. And yeah, by the way, those of you who attended the previous presentation completely agree. Swift is nowhere near production level yet. So yeah, once you have this Objective-C bridging library, you just need to go to build settings and type the path to the bridging header under the Objective-C bridging header option. And then you're ready to go. So let's go to our menu view controller. This is all the magic with table and proceeding to the confirmation screen. So the main way to interact with beacons is through the EST beacon manager. So let me initialize it right now. So this is it. This is my beacon manager, and I also I also create a beacon region here. This beacon region encompasses all the beacons with this particular UUID, which is actually my beacons. I have them here with me. And some identifier, which is mainly for me and for identification purposes. And one more thing I do in View.did load is I initialize the beacon manager with my app ID and app token so that I can actually access my beacons. Well, this is because I don't want any third-party app actually being able to use my beacons. So this is why we have this security mechanism in place. And then I set the delegate, and the only thing I need to do is actually implement the delegate protocol. So est beacon manager delegate. And the error disappears. Yep. So we have our beacon manager ready. So now we go to the fun part and actually start doing things. I have my place order function here, place order method, with some mocked up code. So let me remove this mocked up code now. Yeah, this is it. And let me start ranging now. So this is what I'm doing. First, in iOS 8, maybe some of you already know, Apple introduced revamped location services authorization model, which means right now we have to explicitly ask for permission to use location services. And let me actually, if we're speaking about permissions and location services, well, iBeacon is considered like location data because, well, it actually sort of identifies where you are. And Apple's very sensitive, and we all are very sensitive about giving out our location data because, yeah, this is something we consider pretty private and intimate. So always make sure that the user knows how you actually track him throughout the application. And this is a great way to do it because apart from request when in use authorization, we also need to add a description of how our application uses location services data. So this is something we do in the info plist file. So I'll go into this file right now. And add this MS location when in use usage description. And what it says here is like, well, we use your location to figure out which table you're sitting at. There are many better ways how to do it. Some apps, for example, maybe you're familiar with this pattern. During the onboarding process, they actually give you a short explanation, maybe with some picture or something like that to make it more graphic of what the user actually gains by sharing his location, his or her location information. So this is not such a bad pattern. For this demo, we'll just stick to this simple version. Okay, so then we start ranging for beacons in region, and this is an asynchronous method, so the results will be delivered to the delegate method. So let's add this method right now. And this is it, did range beacons. So yeah, just as mentioned, ranging gives you all the beacons in the vicinity. So this is the beacons parameter, an array of est beacon objects. And I'm taking the first beacon out of this array because they are sorted by the distance. I want the one which is the closest to me. So I'm taking the first one. I don't need to range anymore, so I stop ranging. I assume that my beacon's minor value, this is something I talked about, is actually the table number. It doesn't need to be. You can have some sort of your own mapping or even retrieve it from an external service. For simplicity, this is done like this here. And then I want to connect to the beacon because I actually want to get the temperature information as well, right? So I set the delegate again and connect to the beacon, and again we need to implement the protocol. Here we go. And yeah, the error disappears. So connecting is also an asynchronous operation. So it will invoke a delegate method when it succeeds or when it fails. For now, let's assume it will succeed. Beacon connection did succeeded. And here I just read the temperature. When this is also an asynchronous operation, but in this case, we actually invoke the block given or the closure in Swift. So whenever that's ready, I'm just retrieving the temperature, setting it to my table model, disconnecting from the beacon, and confirming my order. So this is all. This is all I needed to do to add integration with beacons. Maybe you can see it in action now. Here we go again. Yeah, so this is the pop-up I mentioned. And notice that the message we added to the info palace file is actually here. So I'm going to allow that. And now the ranging and connection to beacon happens. And here we go, table number 3. And because it's cold enough in here, the tout with ask the waiter for our special selection of ice cream disappeared. So this is really all you need to integrate ranging or add ranging to your application. Another mode of operation is region monitoring. And it's pretty cool because it actually works in the background. It also works in the foreground, but yeah, the added bonus is that it continues working in the background. It continues working when your application gets terminated. So like removed from memory. It continues to work after you reboot your iPhone. iOS will actually relaunch your application whenever you enter or exit a particular beacon region. So yeah, we can imagine maybe going past this cafe of ours, and we can get a local like push notification about some like special selection of lunch or whatever, maybe offer some promo code or something. So this is pretty cool. And there is another cool thing about beacon region monitoring is that like whenever we're actually in the vicinity of the region or inside the region, iOS 8 includes this suggested apps icon in the bottom left corner of your lock screen. And the application which actually listens for the given beacon region will appear in this as this suggested app. So that's pretty cool. So this is really all about like beacons tech crash course. And let's talk about what's next. So beacons are pretty cool because well, you can stick them at the table, you can stick them next to the painting or something like that. But they're pretty inconvenient, as you probably can't or won't or wouldn't want to stick them on your laptop or like any small object. I don't know, a bike, a collar of your dog or something like that. And this is why 2 months ago we actually announced Estimote stickers, which is, well, beacons, but in a different form factor. So they're going to offer, they're offering the exact same functionality and exact same feature set. They are just much smaller with a smaller battery. So the battery life is about 1 year instead of 4 years. But now you can actually stick them on whatever object you want. And I actually have a video to demonstrate this as well. So this is stickers. They are coming out later this fall. You can already pre-order some if you want. And if you're an attentive listener, you probably heard this word mirables. And this is basically our idea for, say, smart objects, right? You don't really need to buy a specialized dog collar or say a pot for your plant. You can just take the sticker, stick it on whatever objects you already have, and this gives your phone, your smartphone, the context necessary to actually know what object this is, and if it's in movement, if it's near the phone, or if it's out of range, what's the temperature, and all that stuff. So this is pretty cool. But this is not everything. Like just a few weeks ago, we introduced another thing, and this time this is a software solution, not a hardware solution. And again, a video can probably explain it better than I would.
Last year, we introduced Estimote beacons to enable developers to build a new generation of context-aware mobile apps. To help you build even more, we're tightly integrating hardware and software to launch Estimote Indoor Location, a simple tool that makes it extremely easy to add precise location to any iOS application. Setup is a three-step process that takes just minutes. You will need at least 4 Estimote beacons and our iOS app. Place one of the beacons about chest height near the entrance, making sure to position it vertically. Then place one beacon in the center of each of the remaining walls. You can place additional beacons for more accuracy. After you've done this, our iOS app will guide you through a calibration process, which only needs to be completed one time for your venue. Start by walking around the perimeter of the room and place your phone next to each beacon. Begin with the first and then repeat with the others, holding your phone in front of you as you walk. Our app will instruct you, signaling each time you've registered a beacon's location. We use complex data science enabled by your iOS device to measure the physical dimensions of the room and distance between beacons. Be sure to complete the process by returning to the first beacon. Calibrating your space is that simple. You'll now have a map and an avatar that represents your approximate location, updating in real time. At Estimote, we focus on doing the deep engineering required to free you to design and develop entirely new mobile experiences. We know that given the right tools, you'll build amazing apps that push the boundaries of anything consumers have ever seen before. Our app even lets you export your unique code snippet to incorporate location to any of your own apps. This code, paired with our robust SDK on GitHub, gives you full control, making Estimote Indoor Location the biggest advancement in beacon technology that the market has ever seen. Estimote, reality matters.
So yeah, this is Indoor Location, our first sort of purely software solution. And the whole idea is that beacons give you the proximity information, right? You know, whenever you're near a beacon or entering a beacon region or exiting a beacon region, but you don't get like the exact position inside the room. And most of the time, proximity is all you need. So when you're building your own application, think twice. If you really need like indoor location or is proximity enough, proximity is much simpler to implement. But yeah, if you want to do indoor location, we have a tool for that right now as well. And it's not perfect yet. It's very young, but we're like committed to improving it. And yeah, we actually strongly believe that with time it will be perfect. It will work perfectly. So yeah, just go and check it out. These are the developers' resources, estimote.com/API. We actually have a huge upgrade to this developers section of the website. Actually, it will be like a standalone developers portal with getting started, guides, great documentation, and all that stuff. So stay tuned. We already have like a full API reference and some tutorials on getting started. Guides and example apps, so feel free to check them out. And github.com/Estimote is where you can download the Estimote SDK and the Indoor Location SDK. The stickers SDK is coming later this fall together with the stickers release. So yeah, Estimote is like, we're developers-faced company, right? We don't do apps ourselves. We do everything to enable developers like you to build like the next generation of apps with contextual computing sort of built in into it. We already have a lot of real-world deployments, Guggenheim Museum in New York, for example, or Heathrow Airport in London, or this ST Cafe app, which I shortly demoed. There is a similar app already as well. It's called the Downtown app. And yeah, they already support a few restaurants, mostly in the US, but yeah, it basically enables you to like seamlessly order your meal at a restaurant, avoid like lines, and just pay and leave through the door. Just like Uber revolutionized the whole transport flow and user experience. So yeah, we hope that beacons will also enable you to remove friction from like existing interactions with real world, and this is pretty much everything I have for you. So thanks for coming. If you have any questions, we still have some time, so I'll be happy to take them, and I'll be like hanging around most of the day. So feel free to just approach me, and let's talk if you're interested to hear more. Thank you. Questions? We can do Polish if you want. DevKit beaconów $100, DevKit stickerów też $100. Beaconów są 3 w DevKicie, stickerów jest 10. $100, tak. Beacony około 4 lat, czasami dłużej, jeżeli zmniejszymy. Proszę? Więc baterie nie są wymienne, ale to głównie dlatego, że nasza filozofia, jeśli chodzi o baterie, jest taka, że za parę lat w ogóle nie powinniście się martwić o baterie, nie? Te beacony powinniście przykleić na ścianę i w ogóle zapomnieć, że one istnieją, nie martwić się w jakimś tam wymienianiem baterii i tak dalej. No i tak naprawdę ciągle ten czas życia wydłużamy. No, zaczął się on tam trochę krócej, było chyba do 2 lat, a jakiś czas temu wprowadziliśmy power mody, czyli tam dodatkowe algorytmy w firmware'ze, które trochę oszczędzają życie tej baterii. Można się tak też, dużo też zależy od ustawień, prawda? Jeżeli ustawimy maksymalną moc nadawania, no to wtedy mamy duży zasięg, no ale też wtedy czas życia baterii się skraca. Ale no tak naprawdę jesteśmy bardzo committed do tego, żeby ten czas życia baterii ciągle wydłużać i no jesteśmy prawie pewni, że dojdzie do takiego momentu, że w ogóle się nie trzeba będzie martwić o te baterie. A oprócz tego też eksplorujemy jakieś inne alternatywne metody zasilania, ale no, to jest coś, nad czym tam nasi eksperymentatorzy pracują i może coś z tego wyjdzie.
A te małe ile żyją?
Te małe do roku.
Do roku i też niewymienne?
Też niewymienne.
No, czyli to nie jest zielone rzeczy.
No,
Są zielone.
są też zielone. No, aha.
Mnie interesuje, ja w ogóle zetknąłem się z takim ograniczeniem istotnie iOS-owym, no nie? W Androidzie tego nie ma. Ja nie mogę na przykład nasłuchiwać na beacony, których nie mam predefiniowanych UID w apce. W Androidzie mogę po prostu zmapować beacon, mogę przenieść beacon z ulicy i powiedzieć sobie, a teraz ten beacon jest w tym pokoju, ja mapuję ten beacon na ten pokój i takie było moje zadanie, tak, na początku. Okazało się, że czegoś takiego ja się nie mogę zrobić niestety. Ja muszę wiedzieć najpierw, jaki jest UID. I dlatego moje pytanie jest takie, jak to było, się zrobiło w tej apce, że on po prostu wziął beacony, ponaklejał sobie na ścianę i podszedł do nich, nie wpisując do tej apki tej UID, czy chyba, że to były wszystkie beacony z jakimś takimi UID, które już od początku żeście predefiniowali, zaprogramowali te beacony pod to i jak to było?
Więc nie wiem, czy wszyscy słyszeli pytanie. Pytanie było, skąd ta aplikacja indoorowa wiedziała, że te beacony tam są, bo trzeba podawać te UID major i minor, a na filmie po prostu wziął gościu beacony z pudełka i... Tak, no tylko UID major minor albo samo UID albo UID major. No więc my jak wysyłamy beacony do ludzi, to trackujemy jak gdyby, które beacony zostały wysłane i jakie one miały UID i major i minor i zapisujemy to, mamy taką swoją platformę, nazywa się Estimote Cloud, do której też ludzie, którzy kupują beacony, mają dostęp i tam mogą sobie zobaczyć, które beacony są jak gdyby z ich kontem powiązane. No i jak zaczyna się ten proces kalibracji interlocation, to trzeba się po prostu zalogować do swojego konta w Estimote Cloud i wtedy dokładnie wiemy, które to są beacony. Mniej więcej tak. Tak, więc z Core Bluetooth jest problem z Core Bluetoothem w iOSie taki, że ponieważ Apple właśnie uznaje iBeacon jako location services i sensitive privacy information, whatever, to z Core Bluetootha wycinane są wszystkie pakiety iBeaconowe, także przez Core Bluetootha nie dostaniemy się do iBeaconowych pakietów. Są na poziomie API niskopoziomowego wycięte.
Zeskanowałam wszystko, więc spoko. Przesparowałam. A właśnie, przy okazji mam takie pytanie. Idę sobie do restauracji i czytam, moja aplikacja czyta i czyta temperaturę, i czyta. I przychodzi druga klientka i ty sobie przeczytasz temperaturę, a ja cały czas zajmuję i czytam dane z akcelerometru. I co wtedy? Czy jest multi-part connection, czy to jest...
To był broadcast.
Nie, jeżeli czytam, to jest...
Temperatura nie jest podcastowana.
No dokładnie, przecież było connection. A jeżeli mam akcelerometrze temperatura, to jeszcze mamy paczki, ale ja chcę czytać cały czas, tak?
No ale jest jeden na stolik.
No tak, znaczy...
Jak jeden stolik, ale obok klientów się pogadać. Na przykład. A co?
No ale chodzi o to,
Albo
że jest
dobra.
jeden iBacon na stolik. Znaczy bacon. Więc...
No dobrze. No ale 3 osoby siedzą przy stoliku, no i na przykład...
To chyba nie
wszystkie
będziecie się
są-
bili o
Nie, ale pytam o stronę technicznej.
No to jest generalnie ograniczenie, które gdzieś tam trzeba mieć niestety w głowie, jak się projektuje aplikację, że naraz może być, no można być tylko podłączonym raz do urządzenia Bluetooth i no ciężko to jak gdyby obejść.
A takie pytanie, czy można zmienić UID danego beacona na zasadzie, że jesteśmy na przykład w McDonaldzie, wchodzę ze swoim telefonem i zmieniam UID na beacona KFC, teraz przychodząc do McDonalda dostaję reklamę, nie jedź tutaj, w KFC dostaniesz więcej do niej?
Dobre pytanie. No więc Estimote'owe beacony generalnie implementują cały security model właśnie związany z tym Estimote Cloud, także tylko właściciel beacona, ten, który ma je przypisane do swojego konta w Estimote Cloud, może nimi manipulować, może zmieniać ich ustawienia, zmieniać ich identyfikatory. Także no, generalnie nie da się podejść i czegoś pozmieniać.
Z Bluetootha na przykład, korzystając już powiedzmy nie z iOS-a, tylko z Androida, nie jesteśmy w stanie zmienić tego UID?
Też nie, bo nie podłączysz się do beacona bez Estimote'owego SDK-a. Jest zaimplementowane też całe security, że no, rozłączy cię po prostu, jeżeli nie, od razu cię rozłączy, jeśli podłączysz się zwykłym Core Bluetoothem czy Bluetoothem.
Pierwsza część jest stała, do tego mamy predefiniowane minor-minor, tak? Sekcje, które możemy sami zaprogramować w tym beaconie, mając uprawnienia, tak?
Zarówno UID, major i minor można zmieniać. Też można zmieniać.
Twardy seryjny numer, czy nie oprócz tego? Dostępny jakiś UID, takie twardo zaszyte w chipie,
No to
niezmienialne OTP?
niezmienialny to najlepiej chyba po MAC adresie będzie identyfikować.
Jest MAC adres jakiś, tak?
No tak jak każde urządzenie Bluetooth tak naprawdę. Więc
No każde, nie każde.
wydaje mi się, że każde urządzenie Bluetooth ma MAC adres. Proszę. Więc te duże beacony na maksymalnych ustawieniach do 70 metrów, stickery do 50 metrów. No, generalnie trzeba jednak mieć na uwadze to, że no, to są fale radiowe, które właśnie na różne rzeczy są podatne, na różne zjawiska jakieś takie fizyczne i na przykład w wyższej wilgotności, gdzie w powietrzu mamy trochę wody, woda tak naprawdę bardzo absorbuje fale Bluetooth. To nawiasem mówiąc, człowiek jest złożony w 80% z wody, więc jeżeli zasłonimy ciałem beacona, no to też nam siła sygnału spadnie dosyć znacząco. No więc na przykład w jakimś takim bardzo wilgotnym środowisku to może być mniej, w suchym środowisku to będzie więcej. No generalnie gdzieś tam do 70 metrów to jest taka maksymalna teoretyczna wartość.
Czy niekoniecznie w wannie, wiesz?
Beacony są zamknięte w silikonowej, wodoodpornej case enclosure O budowie, tak, właśnie, dziękuję. Więc no nie ma tutaj jak gdyby żadnego ryzyka, no trzeba mieć tylko na uwadze to, że na przykład jeśli go sobie wrzucimy do wanny, to jemu się nic nie stanie, ale no, drastycznie spadnie zasięg.
A ile czasu one nadają? Jaką częstotliwość nadają? Nie częstotliwość, tylko co ile nadają? 30 sekund do wykonu? Co 10?
Więc generalnie można to zmienić od 100 milisekund do 2 sekund, częstotliwość nadawania. Apple w iBeacon Protocol no generalnie twierdzi, że to powinno być 100 milisekund, ale to strasznie zabija baterię, więc my ustawiamy domyślnie na więcej. Na chyba 950, bo to jest też z tym związane, że z jednej strony mamy częstotliwość nadawania w beaconach, ale z drugiej strony jest też częstotliwość skanowania tego po stronie iOS-a. No i to też musi być jakiś kompromis pomiędzy czasem życia baterii a responsywnością, bo inaczej zabilibyśmy szybko baterię w naszym iPhone'ie. Więc Apple w foregroundzie chyba domyślnie skanuje co sekundę, a w backgroundzie chyba co pół minuty, jeśli dobrze pamiętam. Aczkolwiek też oficjalnie nie podają takich informacji, więc tam pojawiają się jakieś głosy, że to są algorytmy, które też w zależności od stanu naładowania baterii i tego, czy używamy telefon w miarę aktywnie, czy nie, mogą zmieniać te częstotliwości skanowania, więc no to są takie jak gdyby dwa czynniki, które trzeba mieć na uwadze, że to jest nie tylko to, co ustawimy sobie w beaconie, ale też no, jakieś tam algorytmy skanowania po stronie iOS-a.
Ile beaconów może być w jednym pomieszczeniu?
Tyle, ile chcemy, tak. Tyle, ile się zmieści.
Czytałam na waszej stronie, że 20.
20 to jest limit z iOS-a na liczbę regionów, które mogą być monitorowane w jednym czasie. Czyli no jeżeli ustawimy sobie nasz region tak, żeby zarówno UID Major i Minor słuchał, czyli wtedy mamy mapowanie 1:1 region beacon, no to wtedy nasłuchujemy tylko tak naprawdę na maksymalnie 20 beaconów. Ale jeśli ustawimy sobie, tak jak ja na przykład tam w demo robiłem, na samym UID, ignorując Major i Minor, no to tam już jest teoretycznie Minorów jest w sumie 65 535, czyli mamy ponad 4 miliony beaconów na jeden region na przykład.
Kanałów w ble, więc i tak nie przepchamy tej informacji.
No tak, no to już są jakieś takie ograniczenia techniczne, które...
Do sklepu?
No pewnie tak. Znaczy my w biurze na przykład mamy tych beaconów jakieś takie setki w ogóle, więc jak się zaczyna skanować i w miarę to działa, także no, gdzieś nie przeprowadzaliśmy jakichś takich hardkorowych testów. Dobra, ponieważ kończy nam się powoli czas, to jeżeli macie jeszcze jakieś pytania, to tak jak mówię, łapcie mnie gdzieś tam po prezentacji w hallu albo po kolejnych prezentacjach i jeszcze raz dzięki, że wpadliście.